everybody, the first step for today is that you're going to take your ornaments and you're going to fold them in half, making sure that the pretty side is towards the inside, okay? So pretty should be in, the outside should look kind of like your plain side. So everybody fold them in half, all of them. I'm going to work on Luna's, and who else was absent today? Sai, maybe? Are they stuck to the paper? It's okay. They should come off. Just peel them off, Carly. Okay, now after you guys do this step, just wait. I want to show you the gluing. Just do your best. I'll help you when I get done up here, okay? All right, so when it comes to glue, a lot of you get really like glue crazy, right? Like where like there's like a glob of glue and it's like oozing out the edges and all that business. But there's a real problem with these watercolor ornaments if you do it that way, all right? The first problem is that the glue will actually seep through the paper and it will re-wet these watercolors. So as you touch them, you're gonna make like nasty fingerprints of all these different colors and you're gonna smear them and take the paint off. So you cannot use an excess of glue today, okay? And then another problem is that it oozes out the sides. And when it oozes out the sides, same thing happens. You're gonna like mess up all that beautiful watercolor we did last time, okay? The next thing you guys are gonna do, did somebody go over there and get glue? I feel like I saw somebody walk over there. So you don't need glue right now. I want you to just watch first, okay? All right, everybody looking up here. Hey, Nolan, come here, let me check that before you cut, buddy. Okay, so what we're gonna do next is we're gonna line them up and we're gonna glue one of these back to back and the other one's gonna be flat on the table. Does that make sense? Good, you're good, you can keep cutting. That looks great. Yeah, just make sure and leave it folded while you cut. And then I'm gonna flip this one the same way. Let's make sure these guys are the same way. Line one up on the ground and one up back to back, okay? Now everybody watch up here. Put your ornaments down. You don't need to do anything with them yet. Just look, okay? Remember to peel off the dried part of the glue bottle before you get going. That'll kind of free up some air at the top. And twist just this top part. I had 2 people yesterday that twisted this bottom part, and then they squeezed real hard, and obviously tons of glue went out. And they were like, I don't know why my glue bottle exploded. So you're not supposed to glue this or turn this bottom. Just turn the little top part, okay? All right. Now, are y'all watching? Yes? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 1/2 and I'm going to fold it flat. So I've just folded it together to where I see like the ugly backside, or the plain backside, I should say. I'm going to do a thin line of glue. Now, if you want to ensure that this glue is not going to ooze out anywhere, sorry guys, I know it's hard for you to see that glue. There we go. Can you see it now? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to kind of spread it out so it's nice and thin. And I have thin lines of glue on there anyway. There's not an excess of glue, okay? Notice how I'm gluing on top of this paper that we used the other day, right? Because then that way we won't get any glue on the tables. It'll be really easy cleanup. All right, you guys watching? This is important. Now I'm gonna line these 2 walls up. Feel free to like readjust it now, because if you leave it for about 30 seconds, you won't be able to readjust anymore, okay? So now is the time to get them lined up. Once they're lined up, you should see like this. You should see this one beautiful side, this one beautiful side, and then you see their 2 plain sides where they meet in the middle, okay? Got it? Looking good? Double check to make sure everything's lined up before you leave this one be and go on to the next one, okay? All right, so that one's good enough. I'm gonna go on to the other one. I'm gonna do the same thing. You guys watching again? So I'm gonna flatten this guy out. I'm gonna add a thin line of glue. Do you guys remember my next step? Yeah, if you spread it out, what that does is that gets the glue really close to the edges, but it also ensures that nothing is oozing out the edges, okay? And then you can just like wipe your finger off on that scrap paper. You don't need to be going getting like 75 Kleenexes. All right, now I'm gonna line this guy up, line it up. By the way, if you find that your ornaments aren't like the exact same size, that's all of us. There's no way to cut these out where they're like perfectly the same. We're not a machine or anything, okay? All right, so if I rotate this, you can see this beautiful side, this beautiful side, and then you can see the 2 blank sides where they meet in the middle, okay? All right, now your objective. You're gonna take the 2 plain sides and you're gonna glue them together. In order to do that, you're just gonna do the same thing we did last time. We're gonna flatten it out, do a thin line of glue, spread it, connect it, okay? Sound good? And what I'll do is I'll come around and I will hole punch your ornaments, okay? But I gotta let them dry for a few minutes. Otherwise, if they're real soggy, it's kind of hard to use the hole puncher on them, okay? So I'm gonna line these guys up, press them in. Now watch this rotation, guys. This is when it's done. I have one beautiful side, one beautiful side, one beautiful side, one beautiful side. And you see here how I see a little bit of that white outline? That's not a problem. We're all gonna have a little bit of that, so don't be discouraged, okay? And remember, when you get home, if you guys want to add like marker decorations like I did on mine, you can do those things later, okay? Yeah, Jemiah, do you have a question? I'll come check it out. I'll come help you. All right, you guys feel ready to glue? All right, make sure you're gluing on top of those papers so we don't have to clean off the table. Okay, ready? Can you just step back just a skosh? You're kind of in like, okay. Or you can just go sit down. I'll bring it to you, Carly, okay? Go have a seat. Okay, you all ready? Candy cane first. You make it into a candy cane, yes? And then we're going to cross the end of the candy cane over to make it into a P. And then we're going to take the ends. See these little pokey ends right here? We're going to tip them underneath and come up through the loop. Underneath and through. Then pull the knot tight towards the top. And you are done.